Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenaton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. We got a deck tech here today for you. We're going to go over a deck that is a little off meta today. We're going to go over Talia Malphite, a very fun deck, and like very fringe competitive in my opinion. Just be careful of certain decks that are very popular in the meta. So we'll talk about the deck, each card in the deck, why it's there, and some matchups. So let's go and take a look at the deck. Why not? Okay, welcome to the deck. Now, first off, this deck, like I said, I think it's very fringe competitive, fringe viable, whatever, however you want to describe it. I would not say this is a deck to pick out if you're trying to bring the best decks you can bring, if you're going to a tournament or you're trying to gain a lot of LP on the ladder. But if you're looking for a fun, novel deck to play that is still somewhat viable and you'll still get a decent amount of wins, this is the deck for you. Very fun. I'd say it's a more mid-rangey deck. Got some strong synergies in it with some fairly good openers. First opener synergy is chip into Rockhopper. Very powerful synergy. You get basically a 3/3 and a 3/1. And you also get a Roiling Sand setup. Very powerful. Our next synergy is Inner Sanctum to give Talia or Malphite Overwhelm. That's one of our ways of just getting a really good win, really easy win. Anyway, though, those are like basically the two main synergies here for the deck. There's some other smaller synergies, but those are the two big ones. So let's talk about all of the cards as well as talk about the deck, its game plan, and some matchups and how to play the deck. So first up, we have Chip, everyone's favorite cute little rock. Chip is a 1-mana 1/1. Kind of sad that he can get pinged, but we still play him. He helps fight for the board really well. Being able to block Fearsomes is nice. And of course, like I said earlier, curving into Rockhopper is just an insane amount of board presence early on. Some people I've seen cut Chip, at least cut one, maybe even two chips for, I can't remember the name of it, the 1-mana landmark Ancient Preparations. I haven't tried that out, but I like it. It's a little bit worse in the early game, but it does help level up your Talia and your Malphite. And it also is better in the late game than a top deck chip, sort of, because of the predict. Next card, got Shapestone. Not much to talk about here, just a really good combat trick. Lets you push in a lot of damage if you put it on an unblocked unit or an overwhelm unit. Lets you save units too. Just overall great. It's probably going to be always active and give you +3/+1 because, well, we're a landmark deck. Next card up, Blue Sentinel, just a very strong defensive card. When it dies, leaving behind a blue buff, Crest of Insight, basically. 2-mana landmark, helps your all your landmark synergy cards, so great card. 2 Guiding Touch. No Pale Cascades, by the way. Guiding Touches are only healing in the deck. You could, if you wanted to, play maybe Star Shaping. I'm not a big fan of Star Shaping in this deck. I feel it's a little too slow for the deck, but it does give you some extra healing, and it does help shore up your burn matchup, I guess. But 2 Guiding Touches helps out. It cycles through the deck. I'd prefer this over running healing. Aggro in general and burn in general is kind of a bad matchup, like discard aggro as well. But whatever. Next up, 2 Preservariums. Just a little card draw here. That also helps us with our landmark synergies. Nice card. Also can be used to be a destroyed card, however you want to say that, for Desert Naturalist. Got 3 Rockhoppers, just an overall great card. The problem in this meta, though, with Roiling Sands, so Rockhopper and Unraveled Earth, is Azirarelia is kind of annoying with this. You might have the Blades or the Sand Soldiers pop the Roiling Sands, and that's always a sad time. Next up, 2 Inner Sanctums. Inner Sanctum is really, really good with this. Getting something like Challenger, Spell Shield, Overwhelm on a Talia or a Malphite can just be game-winning. Sometimes we'll play this even though we won't have anything to buff up, just because it will set up a good turn. I have played Inner Sanctums before just to set up a Stonebreaker, and it's still fine to put on not one of your non-champions anyway, like putting it on an Earth Elemental or a Stonebreaker anyway. Stonebreaker is nice to get Overwhelm, of course. I guess Earth Elemental's fine for getting like Tough or Challenger or something. So it's not terrible if you don't have a champion to buff up with your Lucky Finds. Next up, 3 Unraveled Earths. This is basically how we level up Talia and Malphite and activate our Stonebreakers and Earth Elementals. It gives us some really good fodder to destroy, some good landmarks to destroy for our Desert Naturalist to get a 5/4. In certain matchups, really lets us control the board really well. And of course, it cycles itself, so that's nice too. Also, if your board is full, you can still play this card. Say, for example, you have all 6 slots of your board full, you can still play this card. Sure, you won't get the Roiling Sands, but it will still draw and cycle through the deck, so there's that to remember. If you're having to do that, though, of course, that's bad, but 3 mana, draw 1's not the worst, of course. Next up, 4 Desert Naturalist. Mostly going to be used to destroy our own landmarks to get Rock Bears 5/4s. Rock Bears are not the most impressive card, but they are big and they help beat down and they hold buffs decently well from Inner Sanctum. But thanks to Desert Naturalist, our matchup against Turbo Thralls is pretty decent. Our opponents will try to use Promising Future and stuff on their Frozen Thralls, and then with Desert Naturalist, of course, and they'll cry. Against something like Tom Soraka, Desert Naturalist is great. Not many decks are playing that many landmarks or 2 landmark focus, though, but it's still a nice card in case your opponent is one of the few players who still play Tom Soraka or maybe a Scarground player. The most common deck you'll probably run into that Desert Naturalist is good against is Turbo Thralls. But still, great card. Next up, Earth Elemental. Kind of a win con here. Starts off as a 3/5 with Overwhelm, becomes a 6/5 with Overwhelm once it's active. You don't have to hold it. You can have it on the board, and then if you play the 4th landmark, it will become a 6/5. So don't think you have to hold it just because you haven't played 4 landmarks. Really good with Challenger, like I said, for the Inner Sanctum. Also holds a Shaped Stone buff really well, too, to push in a lot of damage. Next card up we have is Ground Slam. Combos really well with Earth Elemental as well, and just Overwhelm units in general to force through a lot of damage. Ground Slam is one of the best cards in the deck. Ground Slam is what lets us have some good matchups against certain decks, like Overwhelm. We have a good matchup against Overwhelm because of Ground Slam. Same with Ezreal Draven. I'd say we're slightly favored against Ezreal Draven because of a lot of our removal is just good against them. They don't play too many units, or our Unraveled Earths, our Roiling Sands, will give a lot of key cards vulnerable. Ground Slam can kill an unleveled up Draven and Ezreal. Ground Slam is just a great card. Next up, only 1 Rite of Negation. Might go up to 2 in the future, but in the current meta, Rite of Negation's not that amazing. You could even cut this Rite for something else. I don't know what you would cut it for, though, but you could definitely cut it for something else. But I like 1 of Rite, especially when deck lists are public, so your opponent gets a little scared of it. 3 Talia, not much to talk about here with the champions. 3 Talias because, well, we're a landmark deck. Leveled up Talia is kind of a win con. And being able to copy, say, like a Preservarium is nice. Copying the landmarks, though, there aren't that many landmarks we'll be able to copy until we get to the late game. Inner Sanctum's a nice thing to copy, but it's hard to copy Inner Sanctum because it's a Countdown 1 card. Copying a Roiling Sands is okay, but you start to run out of room because of Talia. So, again, don't try to rush leveling up your champions. Just play slow-ish, take your time, and don't try to like harm your mid-game just to level up your champions quickly. Next card, 3 Stonebreakers. This card is, in my opinion, a lovely card. Not amazing, don't get me wrong, but basically sort of Ravenous Flock, but your opponent can't heal through it. But yeah, Ravenous Flock on a stick, kind of. That also hits your opponent's Nexus for 2 is pretty sweet. I have definitely won a few games thanks to the Nexus burn. It's also really hard to disrupt this card. This card, unlike other units, if your opponent bounces this Stonebreaker or kills it, it will not stop the shot. the playability, in other words. I have had some players try to do that, where they would, like, homecoming my Stonebreaker to try and stop the damage, and it would still go through. I'm honestly not sure if that's a bug or not, but I'm pretty sure that's intended. And the last card is Malphite, and there's not much to talk about. Malphite, he's basically another win con here. We play Malphite, we play his Unstoppable Force, get in a lot of damage, put Overwhelm on Malphite, maybe from the Inner Sanctum, win the game. His champion spell, of course, is really good. It's Ground Slam, so that's some more stuns, so we get, like, a lot of stuns in the deck. Taliyah herself, though, doesn't have that great of a champion spell, but Stone Weaving's not terrible. You might be able to get, like, a Grand Plaza or something, so it's not the worst champ spell out there. Anyway, though, that is the deck. As for mulliganing, nothing too complex. Just try and find, like, some early game to stabilize and take control of the board, like chip, blue sentinels, rock hoppers, maybe unraveled earths. If you have a good hand with an unraveled earth or something already, maybe even keep a desert naturalist or an earth elemental. But that's about how you want to mulligan for pretty much every matchup. As for the matchups themselves, the one deck you would like to see is, I'd say, Overwhelm. Ezreal Draven's nice. Dragons is fine, because you can fight them decently well in the mid game. Burn decks and, like, discard aggro, very annoying. Azir Aurelia, I'd say you're slightly unfavored, as is the same for Nasus Thresh, because they basically do what you don't want them to do, which is go very wide, and you're not really, we don't really have a way to stop our opponents from capitalizing on going wide. Anyway, though, that is the deck. That's why certain cards are in the deck. So let's go into a couple of games so we can see how this deck works. Why not? Okay, well, we found what is most likely gonna be a very fast game. We found a Sundisk player. One of the few people still playing Sundisk. I'm gonna keep Desert Naturalist because, again, it's a Sundisk deck. Sundisk decks are usually slow. I'm gonna keep a single Preservarium, especially because I see my opponents playing Nasus. If they were only playing Azir and Renekton, I'd be a little scared here that they could try to aggro me out. But because they're playing a single Nasus, most likely, yeah, whatever. As long as they don't have Soothsayer, I think that's the name of the card, the 2-mana 1/4 that gives things Spell Shield. So I'm just gonna start with Blue Sentinel here. Sure. Curator. Yeah, I have a strong feeling this is going to be a very fast game. I have a very strong feeling my opponent's going to give up on turn 4 when I play the Naturalist. Unless my opponent's weird and plays multiple Sundisks. I say that not because I think they are, but because I have once run into someone who did do that. And I'll just play multiple Blue Sentinels and kill this next turn. I'm going to open up by killing Desert Naturalist, because I feel like they might have a Soothsayer in their hand, and they just wanted to get greedy and play Azir to try and give Azir Spell Shield. I hope that's the right card. So, let's see if they give up. Because I guess they could technically counter Desert Naturalist. I'm actually going to do this play first and just attack to soft pass to them. They might block my Blue Sentinel. I don't think they will, though. I think they'll just take the 4 and maybe play a unit or pass back to me. This might not be correct to play around Rhythm Negation, but because I have a nice way to pass to them, I'm going to do it. If they do play Soothsayer, I'm in a lot of trouble, though. No, it's Golden Ambassador. So, is this where you give up, opponent? Good game? Are they playing it out? Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, they want to play it out. Okay. That means they probably got a Renekton then from this Ambassador. Oh, or not. Okay, GG. Let's go to the next game then. Why not? Okay. Well, seems like it's off meta deck today. So normally I wouldn't keep Desert Naturalist in my hand without something like a Roiling Sands, a Unraveled Earth, if you will. or at the very least a Raw Copper. But because I'm going against what I assume is Scar Grounds, I'm going to keep one Desert Naturalist. If you can get rid of the Scar Grounds, that deck kind of falls apart. Okay, the hand's not terrible. It's not terrible. I don't really have a landmark for this Shapestone, but it's fine. But yeah, we are not in an amazing spot if I can't activate the Shapestone. I kind of need the Shapestone active.
In the War Mother's name.
Is that because you're playing... Or is that because of a Zero Aurelia you're playing that? Normally that card's not played. I'll offer a trade. Or at least a buff here.
Worthy of the Winter's Claw.
I'm kind of surprised they did that trade. Would you like to block? Oh, hello, Chip. I don't want to play Chip against a deck playing maybe Blighted Ravines and, what's it called? Okay, that's good. That's a good draw. Let's just start with this. Ice Shards. That's the card I was thinking of.
I have the name. I need
Curator. So they don't have Scar Grounds. I still assume they're playing it. We're doing this because we want to set up a Talia for next turn.
Targon is so big.
If they don't play anything... No, I'm trying to think here. No, we want to set up Talia. We're going to just play Talia here. Kind of sucks to play Talia with nothing on our opponent's side, but I'm still going to do it.
Talia!
Mostly because I want to get the buffs on her.
Chip, you are the noisiest little rock.
But yeah, that feels really bad when you have to play Talia like this.
bottoms up.
So, I want to block like this. And I think... So my Stonebreaker is nowhere near active, so I think I'll just... I'm trying to think of Transfusion. Transfusion is, what, +2/+2? He'll be a 5/5? I will do this block. They most likely have Transfusion here, but I have Shapestone. So we should be fine. And then I'll try to get, like, either Overwhelm or... Challenger on Talia. Yep, Transfusion.
Strength through suffering.
We get to play this. Killing this is really good. I can heal up Talia now. I'm taking a bunch of damage, but that's fine. I really have drawn, like, no landmarks, though. This is good, though. This is +1 landmark, so that's nice. We're halfway there for Stonebreaker, so let's see what we get here. Spell Shield and Challenger. Both are really good. I like Challenger a little more than Spell Shield, though, for now. And the second one, maybe Overwhelm? Well, Challenger is not being picked. So either Tough or +0/+2. I'm going to take Tough. Keeps Talia safe from Ice Shards, so I like it. Alright, alright. We're good, we're good. We really need some help here, though, deck. Another Inner Sanctum. Interesting. I think I'll start by playing Earth Elemental. But yeah, I'm in a little bit of a problem. That's kind of an issue. Yeah, I really needed to find Unraveled Earth. I can still find it. It can still save me, but I really need it. I've got some good blocks here, though. That's basically it, kind of. Let's start with this. Spell Shield? No, but health. Health is good. Yeah, let's get some health. It's like a pseudo heal. And then... what you got next? Overwhelm? We got the Overwhelm. Good, good. And this will activate our Stonebreaker. And if they don't play something else, I'll play Desert Naturalist. I really... But yeah, you can see the problem with Desert Naturalist. We played this Desert... Oh, that's a level up. We played this Desert Naturalist early. And I think I'm just dead. Yeah, I think I'm just dead here.
I prove myself to the War Mother.
Oh, they're not attack. Oh my. I was expecting them to attack in with Vrina. I will jump this. I will block like this. And I don't want to take any extra damage. I'll block like this. I want my Earth Elemental to have a lot of health on it. Yeah, let's do this. I will heal up Talia now, though. I really want to find Unraveled Earth. If I can find Unraveled Earth, I have a really good chance at winning this game. Let's heal up Talia. Shaped Stoned. Not what I need, deck. Help me out here, deck. This is a problem. They really should have attacked with this, by the way. That's sort of another landmark. I need something cheap, though. Rockfall? I mean, I don't want the others anyway, so I guess Rockfall path. So I can kill either Vrina or Vlad. So that's good.
Look at that view. Distance means so little when family means so
And I
much.
think I have to kill Vrina. So I'm gonna do this as my attack of choice. I've got Shape Stoned. But yeah, I've got Shape Stone and I've got Stonebreaker to clean up any kind of value blocks they go for. I like that. That probably means they have another Transfusion or a Troll Chant. Bloodsworn Pledge. This guy is crazy. So I'm gonna use Shape Stone to attempt to trade here. Because I feel like they have another combat trick. If they don't have another combat trick, that's great, because that means Earth Elemental will just trade for Vlad. If they have another combat trick, then I just Stonebreaker Vlad down. And I kill Vrina, which is the more important thing. Yep, and there it is. So I'm off by 2, but I've got another 2 damage here. This is annoying, though. I had this Talia all, like, buffed up, and she just dies. But at least we killed Vrina. We should not be in this game still, by the way. We should definitely be out of this game. We are out of cards, but this is where Malphite will win the game. I'm just saying. If we can find Malphite, he can basically stonewall our opponent. You're just killing your own unit here. You're killing my chip, though. I might actually use Desert Naturalist to kill this Rockfall path. Depending on what they play here.
They all scream.
I'm gonna just take this. It's gonna kill itself. And this is like 6 damage on a crackback. They can't pass here. She's still gonna kill herself, so I'm still gonna just pass. So I win. I completely forgot about my Rockfall path killing that. Oh, hey, and there's Malphite. I'm actually gonna play Malphite now. Yeah, I think I'll just actually play Malphite here. I know I can open attack, but I don't think they're playing it, but 3 Sisters in a Flash Freeze would buy them another turn. And my health is getting a little low. And this makes it really awkward for them. Oh, and I just win, I guess. Unless they have Harsh Winds, maybe? Nope, GG.
It is a good day to be Malphite.
Okay, welcome back to the deck. Sadly, we didn't see any of the meta decks, but that's kind of what happens when you're in low-ranked Masters. You don't see meta decks too often, but we still got to see some fun decks. We got to see basically how this deck can sometimes auto-win against certain matchups. Basically, we were able to Desert Naturalist a Sundisk, and we had a second game where we actually had an opponent who put up some fight. Scargrounds player, but they didn't draw Scargrounds early, but even if they did, I was prepared for it with the Desert Naturalist. But yeah, you could see in the second game, our draw was a little weak, and in all honesty, I should not have won that second game, I think. I think if my opponent had actually attacked in with Vlad, and Scar Mother Vrina like they should have, I would have lost the game. Unless they saw something that I didn't, but yeah. But you also got to see Shapestone did a lot of work. Inner Sanctum on Talia did a lot of work as well. And Malphite helped us close out the game. And Stonebreaker did a lot of work too. So, while I don't think this deck is good, I do think it's just maybe a couple of cards away from being a decent deck. Maybe a couple of balance patches away as well. Maybe some cards in this deck will get buffed. Maybe some cards in other decks that are bad for this deck to run into, like, I don't know, Aziralia will get nerfed, most likely. But still, very fun deck if you're looking for, like, a fresh new deck to play that's still somewhat viable. I highly recommend it. Just overall fun. Plus, there's now Pool Party Talia, so you can also use that if you have that skin. So that's pretty cool, too. Anyway, though, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. If you have any ideas of how to change the deck, any ideas to make it better, I would love to hear it down in the comments below, of course. And if you guys just enjoyed the video in general, it would mean a lot if you could just leave a comment or a like down below, of course. Always helps out the channel. And if you want to keep up with the Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel, too. And if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out on twitch.tv. I've actually been playing this deck a lot on my stream recently. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye!